Morning.
How are you, Saeed?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for being with us today. I'm going to make you the co-host right now so that you can present.
Awesome.
Also going to make Karen a co-host, and then whenever Andrew hops on, I will make him the host.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Sorry, my camera goes in and out. This thing is like malfunctioning, so I need to get the computer looked at. So um, I will be in and out. But if everyone who is here that is able to put on their camera can put their camera on, we would really, really appreciate it. Um, and then I have Karen here who's going to give your introduction.
Outstanding. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, we'll wait till 10 o'clock to make sure everyone logs in that wants to.
It's all good. The more the merrier. And there's Andrew.
Morning, Saeed.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Up and running since 4 a.m. here on the West Coast.
I know you are.
It's a beautiful day here, and I'm actually out visiting parents out in Chandler, Arizona, right outside in Phoenix suburbs. So
that's nice.
yeah, it's a beautiful 72 degrees, and some people say, it's chilly. I'm like, chilly.
It's going to be in the 80s here today.
Yeah, it is.
In PA.
I'm like, I always end up picking up the wrong days.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I had the last minute, and when parents call and there's a pool to jump in, you got to do it. So
totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have an extra bedroom for me and want me to come out there.
That's funny you say that because my sister and her family, they're planning to take a few days off and go to Sedona. And it's beautiful out there. They don't take a lot of times off, and so we're going to use their house and their pool area and the barbecue. And
that's nice.
Yeah, it's a beauty. But you wake up every morning, and at least where I am, you don't pay attention sometimes to the sound around you. And this morning I woke up to the sound of birds and some cars around 4 o'clock, and it was just beautiful. Success, it's the same thing as success is simple, and life is simple. We just make it hard sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
It's just not easy. So.
I mean, in most of PA right now, you wake up to construction, so.
Or lawnmowers.
Yes.
I can tell you there's not a lot of lawn around me here to cut because it's either a fake lawn or crushed stone, which is still beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, Saeed, you deserve it because you are absolutely one of the hardest working people that I've met at KW. Ever since I met you a month or two ago, just the conversations that we've had, I admire your work ethic and everything that you do for your market center. So you deserve a great vacation, get away for a couple of days, and definitely enjoy the time with your family.
It's I appreciate it. Thanks for the words. It's one of those things sometimes. We all work hard, we play hard. Sometimes you also have to not forget, you got to also relax, just shut everything off. And it comes to why I was so passionate about getting in touch with some sort of technologies that we use or the KW technologies that they introduced. And we're going to talk about, we're going to go over why I did certain things and why I'm doing certain things. It's just not for me, it's for everybody. And a lot of folks may not be aware of it, but we are in the future of real estate now. We can no longer ignore automation of real estate. So, Andrew, with that said, I'm confident when I go away, my system and models can take care of my business. So.
And that's why we're here today. We would love to hear more about how you're able to utilize your technology to automate your business, free up time for yourself. We'll give it a couple more minutes before we start.
Yeah, and absolutely. You know what? So a little fun story. and this comes from 2018. My OP, Dave Batty, and our team leader, Greg Basil, they invited me to go to Mega Camp, right? And this is a funny story. I'm like, Mega Camp, I don't know. I just can't do the live stream. This is the time where you used to meet people and handshake people and give people a hug, you know? And I'm like, you know what? Why not? So we went down to Mega Camp, and this is what people told me. They're like, we were behind you, like looking at what you do. You couldn't even recognize we were behind you because you were all about this thing, command. And back in time, remember, command was in like, you know, these easels. You know, they had the big easels and then a couple of computers, how things are going to work. And guys, that's only 3 years ago. And every time I think about that moment, and that's where my passion comes from. I didn't think about, hey, it's me. Let me do it for me. Let me learn the system so I can beat the agent, you know, next to me. You know, it was for us at our market center. And so when you hear some leaders inviting you to some stuff, give it a second chance. So I'm here, sitting here and sharing and making it fun. So we're going to go over what we're going to go over today, and sharing is not going to be something that I discover you don't know about. You know, it has been a philosophy that you don't know, you don't see, you haven't heard about. I just wanted to share how I actually simplified it for our market center. So, and I appreciate the invite, Andrew, and the team.
Awesome. I'm going to pass it over to Karen. We might have a few more people trickle in, but I want to get started because we are 4 after 10. So Karen, if you wouldn't mind giving our introduction, we would really appreciate it.
Sure. So welcome everybody to the third day of Tech Week 2.0. I am the Technology Committee Chair for Keller Williams Philadelphia, and we're very excited to be bringing you Saiid Zamani today from the Keller Williams Devin Wayne office. Saiid is coming to us from Chandler, Arizona today. He's helping us bridge this coast to coast. Today we will be discussing we'll be discussing several things. Saiid is he's a full-time realtor out of Keller Williams Devin Wayne. He is also the Market Center Tech Trainer, as well as Technology Ambassador. So we'll be reviewing in depth with him about your, about how to better use command. So I'll turn it over to him and we'll get started. Thank you so much for joining us today, Saiid.
Thank you, guys. And as always, start our calls, gratitude to the entire KW Philadelphia and everyone involved. What you guys have put on together for Tech 1.0 and Tech 2.0 is such a great value to all of our agents across the board. And so thanks for that. And thank you for the invite. Thank you for allowing me to share how we share our success and also educate our agents at KW Devin Wayne. And so let's go ahead and get started. But one of the things, Andrew and the team there, Karen, I want to do is I want to make this interactive. We want to keep this thing real. This is something that all agents on all level, no matter where you are. So they introduced me a little bit more about myself. I've been in real estate for about 7 years. I am out of the KW Devin Wayne Market Center, which is Philadelphia suburb, about 30 miles northwest of city of Philadelphia. And I've been in marketing / promotion for about 18 years. And prior to joining KW, I was with a smaller boutique brokerage, which is now actually part of KW. And prior to that, I was part of Bally Total Fitness as a regional marketing manager. So a lot of things you're going to hear is going to help a lot of us in Philadelphia, plus across the coast, west to east coast. And so let's get started. So from the cameras I see right now, how many of you have run one Facebook campaign in command? Would you mind? Okay. About 6? Okay, good. So what we're going to discuss today is simple. And I just want to make sure if you have any questions, if there's anything you need, feel free to let us know. Stop me, ask me questions. And this is, interactive. We want to make sure we help you. So Little bit short of command campaigns and how I got into it. So you know where my experience and sharing information comes from. I started using command in late 2018. I started my first command campaign ads in early August of 2019. The purpose of what I did for our market center at Devon Wayne was research, data, and sharing. It wasn't for me to generate leads to trying to get that. That's what my purpose was, right? Everybody has a different purpose. I want to make sure I share that because it's so important that when you do ads, you just don't do it for the sake of doing it. You want to do it with a purpose. So I call it command campaign with purpose. Okay. So I ran approximately a little over 400 campaign ads since August, September of 2019, generated a little bit over 3,000 leads, invested a little over $6,000. Now, again, my purpose was different than the single ad purpose some agents do. The data and the data bank I created to share information for agent at Devon Wayne was my purpose. So I want to make sure that's clear. And Andrew, Karen, one of the things that I could share, especially for affiliate folks and agents, it's something called a digital fencing. I'm going to share that because a lot of us sometimes, when you don't look at the ad purpose, the purpose of your lead generation, that can actually take away a lot of energy you have, which means automation of your lead follow-up, which means the calls you can make. And you have to look at Facebook lead as a long-term investment. We do it every single day, folks. We do it every single day. You put money in your 401k. Now you just have to do investment in your Facebook data bank because it's the 401k for your business, long-term. Why do I say that? Because there is a couple of different ways that we're going to go over how you can do ads. And again, any questions, any ideas, any obstacle you're hitting, and we can discuss that. Let's keep it interactive. And Andrew, do you have anything so far?
Not at the moment.
Okay, good. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see if we can see our screen. And I'm on a single laptop, so I don't have multiple screen. All right, do you guys see my command dashboard? You see, everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Just help me out there. So now you start to see the impressions. That's different. I don't pay too much attention to the impressions. I look at the lead captures that I have. Now again, folks, my success has come with sharing. I'm very passionate about agents all over country, especially my hometown, Devon Wayne, and also Philadelphia suburbs. So here how I started with ads. I kept ads very simple. There's three things that I want you all to remember if you want to have a successful long-term investment in your command campaigns. When you mention ads, do not mention property address ever, right? No neighborhood names and no price, right? So no price, no neighborhood name, and address. Why is that? Can somebody tell me? Okay, so
you want to respond to you.
exactly. Thank you.
Get straight to the source.
Exactly. Now, as technology is evolving from major companies, they're also mimicking the neighborhood in our MLSs versus their website. So if somebody wants to find a home in, I'm just mentioning, in Wynwood, Pennsylvania, or let's do another neighborhood, Chesterbrook, Pennsylvania, I'm just saying, or East Falls, Zillow, Trulia, Homes.com, they're going to mirror that. So they're going to find that home and it's less, they don't need to fill in that information. All right. So right now I have about 376 campaigns counted. And so I am in command campaign. I'm going to go back and show you how I got in here. easiest way to recognize the menu is by clicking on the KW logo up here in the left corner, and it extends the menu out. And then click on the campaigns tab. This is your campaign dashboard. This is not your Facebook one. The campaign dashboard includes a couple of other things, but right now it's showing me on the bottom of my screen the successful ads I had. As you see here, for example, this is the listing I had in Alden. Most leads, 18 leads. I think that was a $20 investment. Average cost per lead, for this was a different ad I ran at the same time, is $1.67. And one of the things that I have been successful with in sharing is you don't only get leads, you also can get likes, real likes from local people to your Facebook business page. And as you expand your Facebook business page, people are also going to see that. People are going to see the message you put out there. Okay, now when you're in campaigns tab, you go ahead and click on the paid ad. So let me just put up the screen again. How many people here are from Philadelphia area? Do we know? All right. I only see a few cameras, so I would say, all right, there's more people. Great. So one of the things that we were successful in Philadelphia because of the layout of area, Facebook has a minimum ratio that you can use, right? Who here has trying to run a Facebook ad and say, well, I can no longer do this zip code. Oh my God, I cannot even say this. So Facebook counts housing as a special category. So there's a minimum of 15-mile radius that your ad has to go, right? And they no longer allow you to go by income levels, housing, sex, like, you know, they cannot do that. There's a reason we were successful in generating a lot of leads. And I see some of folks from my market centers on here. We call it digital fencing. We're going to go into. So Andrew, I see, you know, I have a lot of ads that we have been running, and you see that here. Do you want to go and show how the ad look, or do we want to start how you build an ad?
Let's go through how to build the ad, and then we can look at it from the other side of what it looks like actually on Facebook.
Outstanding. All right. So let's go build the ad. I'm going to keep it very simple, and you can click on the create a new campaign here. Now, let's say you're in Philadelphia area. Whether you're in Devon, you're in Center City, you're in South Philly, you're in Northeast Philly, you can do what I'm doing right here. You click on social ad. That's a paid ad. I'm going to click on here, Center City, Philly 1, just name it. And I'm going to click on advertise a listing. You can also pick a different one. I always pick advertise listing. Now, on the bottom here, you see Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. These are each different apps, obviously, but they also, Facebook count them as the channels. And in order for you to advertise on them, you need to invest $1 minimum per day. And they recommend, based on research, you need to go about 10 days till you see full results. So for example, if you wanted to only invest $10, you're not going to have success with both. You have to pick one or the other. I normally just go with Facebook. Instagram gets you a lot of impressions. Facebook gets you a lot of leads. And then you move forward. It's going to take a couple of seconds. Now, here's the key, folks. Let's say you don't have any listings. You're like, oh my God, does it mean I cannot advertise on Facebook? No. This is actually our KWLS system supported by Smarter Agent, which KW bought a few years ago. If you have a listing, whether you're a single agent or a team, make sure you pick all statuses here and all listings. And then you can pull up any listings. So we're going to, and at times you may see you may see the actual listings show up right away. And this is my listing here. Do we want to go, Andrew, with a listing, or do we want to build a generic ad? You guys pick.
If anybody has any recommendations, I'd say we'll go with a actual listing.
Okay, so we're going to execute this listing today, and I'm going to share these leads back to anybody in my market center since I know them here. And we're going to pick Bonsall app. It's under contract, which is fine. You still can do that. I'm going to show you an idea how you can generate even in this market. So now the system brings the ad in. And the beauty of what KW and the awesome team at KWRI have done is they have built a system in cooperation with Facebook, which we are actually one of the few companies that Facebook said they partner up with and they customize this for. You see, it brought in the text from my listing. Now, I may not want to just put that text in. You can. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that text out. I'm going to say just sold in Delaware County. And I'm going to tell you soon why I'm not putting Alden. You know, one floor living. Okay, so just a simple one, right? And then we're going to put an emoji in, smiley face there. You don't have to, but emojis has proven, like, you know, stops people. It breaks the ad, so people can actually see it better. On the right-hand side, folks, you can actually see the interactive ad being built right here. So just sold in Delaware County, single home with living room, dining area, kitchen, 2 bedrooms, 1 full bath. Looking to buy or sell in Delaware County. Work with a local realtor. Now, some folks may wonder, well, Saiid, why wouldn't you put in Alden? Why wouldn't you put in, let's say, so-and-so? This is a generic ad, right? The purpose, if you go back to the beginning of our discussion, this is command campaign ad with purpose. The purpose of my ad for this one is to generate business, to generate interest, to generate leads. And over generating 3,000 leads, running 400 plus campaigns, I can attest to that 1 out of 5 buyers potentially are also a seller, right? Now here, the headline, as you see, goes right there, right? So check it out here. Headline, home just sold in Delaware County. Who doesn't know where Delaware County is if you ask them in Northeast Philadelphia, or if you ask them in South Philly, or if you ask them in Chester County? Everybody knows Delaware County, right? And then work with a, work with a local agent in buying or selling a home. Again, purpose is to generate lead. This is not showcasing a certain listing. Then I'm going to go in and click on Save Ad Text. The media, again, it's a beautiful system. The media is already there. Facebook recommends up to 5 pictures you can bring in. So I'm going to click on Add here. Again, right here, Add More. What causes this then is going to bring all the pictures that you have uploaded in Bright MLS that through syndication with the Smarter Agent shows up here in KWLS. I personally, here's my recommendation when you do that. When you put in photos, there's no single answer, but my recommendation would be if you can, if it's even a townhome, one picture of the outside, one picture of the kitchen, one picture of the living room. Don't showcase anything else, right? Here, I'm going to take this picture, and there's no right or wrong answer for anything. You could use this wide system. However, be mindful of when people are looking at it, about 80+% of folks watch your ad on their mobile device of an average of 6 inches. So it's either a mobile phone or a tablet. You want to make sure you select here from the drop down a square 1x1 size, which is best for placement. And I'm going to show you what I mean with that. So I'm going to move this a little bit around. To me, it showcases the living room, the dining room, and a little bit of the kitchen right here. And then we're going to click on save. Why do I say that? Because here on the right-hand side, as the editor showcases the live pictures, I'm going to pick up the mobile version of the carousel. It's going to show how the ad looks. You guys see this? So it's enough work, a couple of pictures, and now we're almost there. I'm going to leave it at 2 pictures because it's going to create interest. Wow, this looks good. Let me click on it. The key here is KW supplies you with a source. You can generate an ad, you can generate interest, and you want them to click, because when you click, you get their interest in under 7 seconds. You want to get them to your landing page, to the property site, or to somewhere else that you want their data. So that was my purpose, Andrew. So we're going to go in. When I started in 2019, I wanted to basically invest in time and effort so my agents at Devon Wayne wouldn't have to burn their money, you know. So now we're building this ad. We're going to make sure you include your ownership statement and click on apply. And you guys still see my page? Am I going too fast? You good? Okay.
If you don't have a listing,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have permission of whoever's listing it is that you're highlighting, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, the beauty of KW and our culture is you just have to give them a heads up. Hey, would you mind? And if they don't, then you know there's other agents that you can use. And Janet, that's a great question that you asked. Thank you for asking that, because I'm going to give you another idea how you can generate buyer or seller leads without even using a listing. So we're going to go into that next. Thank you, Janet. And then here we want to configure the ad. I personally have several business pages, and I have found my personal Saiid Zamani real estate now generates more effective leads than my sub pages. So, and it may have to do that I have ran 400+ ads under the same page. Now, down on number 2 under Facebook ad, which is a channel option, I'm going to use Facebook lead generation form instead of sending them to a landing page. Facebook lead generation form, for the purpose of what I'm trying to do, generates the most leads. Now, you can actually click on this button and call to action label. I'm going to still keep learn more. Now, if you take a look at here is follow up destination URL. You're like, well, Saiid, what's this up here and what is this here? Facebook lead generation form collects their data that comes from their Facebook profile. So Andrew Polini, if you have Andrew Polini and whatever email and a phone number, Facebook collects that. We're going to show how that comes in. And here, for example, remember I described Delaware County, right? Now, if you use, let's ask this question. How many people here use KW's website, their own KW website? Can somebody tell me? Okay, so right now, we're going to go into my KW website to grab a link and drop this link right here in this area. And Andrew, do you see my website? It's coming up in a second. You guys see that?
Yep, we see it.
Okay, good. So let's say I want to go into Springfield, Pennsylvania. Now, again, I'm using Delco. Do you guys see, when you go big, you can actually pick that link. Why am I doing that? I'm going to show you. So Springfield, PA is going to, I have to accept the cookies. And we're going to, there you go. If you don't have a certain city, you can use a zip code, you can use a neighborhood. And now you're like, well, why it is? So I'm going to gear people towards what I need. Again, the purpose behind it, when you start an ad, you say, I want to generate buyer leads. So Janet, let's say you don't have a listing, right? Which you had a great question earlier. You say, I want to generate leads between $200,000 to $500,000. And over time, the mindset of those people coming in through the lead generation is between $200,000 to $500,000, right? So here we're going to zoom out a little bit. On the right-hand side, the great thing they have done as they are doing further upgrades, they're giving you an option to search by price. I'm going to change this price to 200,000 to 600,000.
So this is specifically with your Keller Williams website.
You can do it with other website, Janet, too.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. Whether you have Brivity website or I would say there's so many websites out there. You just have to make sure their search tool is catered to that. And we can talk about it later. And we're going to share my information. If you like, I can share you ideas too later on. So here we're going to click on 200,000 to 600,000. And I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go draw. I'm going to say, you know what? Let's zoom out a little bit more. Let me just cancel that. It is really hard, guys, when you don't have actually an extra monitor. I usually have 2 monitors in my office. I'm like, where's my 27-inch monitor? So, all right, we're going to draw here. So, and is going to do that, is going to look for, is going to take a couple of seconds. There you go. So now all listings within $200,000 to $600,000 within this zone, it shows up. Do you guys see the address on top here in address bar, folks? You guys see this here? Janet, do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, now take a look what happens once I go click and zoom in. You see this plus sign here? Now pay attention to these numbers here. All these, right? As I am going to zoom in, they change. Do you see that?
Yep.
So now that's actually from Google Maps, right? I'm going to take this address, right click on it or copy it, however you do it from your device, cut it out, go back to campaigns, make sure this is not there because you only can have one HTTPS, Control MV or Command MV on an app or Apple product. And here the system is checking to make sure that link is not broken, which means that website exists. So you saw you got a check mark off. It's basically a go ahead. And then I'm going to click on custom setting. This is where the good stuff starts, right? This is the bread and butter of generating leads where you want it, not where Facebook wants you. Okay. Now, folks, as you see, I have generated some leads. I have some of them in a certain list. So I'm still going to go and target my database. Let's see how many leads we have because I created an audience. We can talk about it at a later point here. You create that, and right now there is a Facebook leads list of 999 leads. What does this mean? Again, in August of 2019, my purpose was helping our agents at Devon Wayne. What ended up happening, I'm like, if I can generate enough data and sharing success to agents, is going to help them to build their own data bank. So I want you to think about a moment before we go further here. Any leads you generate, do not waste them. Do not delete them. Do not archive them, ever. Until they say, please, per TCPA laws, make sure with full disclosure, you follow the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. If nobody wants to be contacted and you cannot contact them at that time, you can delete them. But if nobody responds, because you are paying for data, right? So I garnered the data, I put a list together called Facebook lead. So any list or I'm sorry, any ads that I generate, I also make sure my 1,000 leads here also potentially see it too. So if they keep seeing my name, my ads 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 times, what do you think is going to happen when you make a phone call or when you talk to them, right? Again, I'm looking at 18 to 36 months down the road. I want everybody to be open-minded about your dollars of investment into that. Okay, so next step is going to say, where do we want this ad to show up? What I have been successful about, Andrew, I want to share 3 points here, and then anybody else that would like to set up a time to discuss how to have a successful ad for your Center City or Northeast Philly, anywhere, I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to you. I personally, based on the purpose of the ad, I don't go where the listing is. I usually delete this. It is in Delaware County. And Janet, you don't have a listing, you want to generate the leads, right? Here, you're going to say, well, I'm in Springfield, Pennsylvania. I don't want to go to Alden. Or if you have a center point as Alden, Facebook minimum, again, remember Facebook policy goes 15-mile radius around it. 15-mile radius from Alden might end up being in South Jersey a little bit. It might be in areas that you don't service or you don't want to go. You just, it's fair, you want to bring value to the consumer. So what I do, Andrew, here, I go up and I put in Havertown, right? And it's going to look up Havertown. If you don't want to do Havertown, you can do a different city. It's going to pick Havertown. I'm going to go down to 15 miles. Best way, guys, to do it is go on Google Maps, look up Havertown, and take the measurement tape. Let me just show you what I mean. So it's easy, because this is the future where you can generate leads, endless amount of leads. So obviously we're not going to generate leads here in Chandler, Arizona. So we're going to go into Havertown. Havertown, PA comes up. You're like, well, Saiid, what are you talking about? Show me. Okay. You can do this. Right click on the map, wherever you want on the map. And you can do, actually, I have to move my bar here. There we go. Measure distance. You guys see this? Measure distance. And then you can scroll out. You guys see this here map? Andrew, do you see this?
I see it.
Okay. We don't want to go past, like, you know, let's say 76 area or Route 1. And then you click on distance to here at 6 miles. Now, folks, we talked about Facebook policy is 15 miles. Just wanted to give you an idea what 15-mile radius is, right? So when you pick that point, you may want to move your center point of the ad up or down, east or west. Now, in Philadelphia area, for example, we have a unique area, because if you go 15 miles about, let's say, east of Broomall, you're already in Jersey. If you go 15 miles east of maybe Westchester, maybe you cover entire Philadelphia area. Just an idea. So let's go back. We don't want to go off too much. There you go. All right. So Andrew, we have done that. Andrew, Karen, did you guys get that? Let me just show you.
And did you say 15 miles was the maximum radius that you could go?
No, minimum. I'm sorry, minimum. My fault. So let me see that. Okay. I actually had, oh, there you go. There it is, the framework app there. The great Nick Baldwin, and we always giving gratitude to Nick Baldwin and the folks at Lab Code Agents. This is what Nick has provided. I think it's very helpful. Sorry about that. Target avatars. So you have certain targets that you can use to cater to the people you want to reach, right? Andrew, I can share this, and folks, if you like it, I can actually upload it in the chat too, Andrew, in a second. So you can take that. Let's go back to the ad. Let me know if I'm going too fast, please. Okay, So we're going to click on the interest list here. Now, cool thing was when I started to add, Janet, nobody was using a lot of ads. I was overwhelmed with a lot of leads. I truly can say that. And I made a mistake. And realizing your mistake and improving on our mistakes, it's something that, like, I have, like, worked on. I'm like, I don't have a lead generation, Andrew or Janet or everybody else here. I had a conversion problem. So I'm now trying to work with folks in my market center, asking questions how to convert leads. And this interest list kind of helped me to, narrow it down. So we're going to click on Zillow first. Is there any question? Please just stop me if you have any question, any suggestions.
Sorry, I have one question.
Sure.
I'm still a student to campaigns, advertising. That 999 number, Facebook leads, are those contacts that are in your database that are tagged as Facebook leads?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to advertise to those 999 and then everybody within a 15-mile radius. We're going to hit them both sides.
Yep.
Okay.
So again, guys, time management, time management, time management. I'm a man, I can tell you, I haven't done a good job in my time management the last, I would say 60 days to make sure everything is tagged because I have so much stuff going on. That 999 leads, Andrew, is just part of the, I think it's 1,474 clean leads that I have. So I haven't tagged the other ones to come into this list, right? So that's actually a higher number. You can add those at any time. So you have Zillow, we're going to click on save. Let's add on, let's say Trulia. You guys remember Trulia? I guess a lot of people not remembering Trulia.
Yes.
All right. Thank God, Melissa.
They were good until they got bought out by Zillow.
Got it. So do you guys remember how much they bought, Zillow bought Trulia? I don't know. So I'm asking. So why am I using these three companies? This is an example. You can use more, you can actually cater more because these
It's targeting people who are doing home search.
Wow. All right, there we go. Andrew, you owe her a gift card. So you have Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. Combine these three targeted, they cover about 85+% of users looking for a home online. That's it. You can
add Redfin in there.
I don't know if you can get Redfin. I haven't been able to get locate Redfin. Have they added Redfin lately? Let's look at it. They're always updating. So the Redfin is not showing up, maybe because it's a spelling. Okay, Redfin is not there. We can do it at a later time. So we are going in, targeting these folks. I'm going to save this. You can also use first-time home buyer and use the list that Nick gave us. Andrew, I see a lot of posts on, there we go. Okay. All right, with so many neighborhoods in Philadelphia, do you write just sold in Philadelphia? That's Anna. Great question, Anna. So one of the things that you could do, especially in Philadelphia, this is just thanks, Pat. This is just an idea. Think about the purpose of your ads. If your neighborhood is very small and you're advertising 15-mile radius, think about who is looking at the ad. Are they specifically looking at that neighborhood or not? So for example, Brewery Town, Fish Town, or if you go across and say Northeast Philadelphia, maybe you cater different areas. Because of housing laws, we have to be careful how we do our ad, and your ad can also get turned down. It's up to Facebook. But you know what, Anna, try it. I would say try it. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no perfect 100% answer. Now, Tom had a question. Can you say school district? That I leave that to the expert about because of housing laws. We have, okay, generic. There we go. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. Let's see what we have. Okay, what about trying to find all those millionaires looking for a vacation home in LBI? Valerie, that's a great question. So folks, now we've gone through an ad. I'm going to answer that, Valerie, in a second. So now we built the ad, we said which Facebook page we want to use, and now we target it, right? And then we can click on a Facebook ad. We want to tell the system how many days we want to do that. Recommended days are 10 days. I would say, again, Janet, let's say you are running an ad for just a buyer ad. Buyer ad tend to generate as much as you invest in the system over time, right? Whether it's 3 days, 6 days, 8 days. I find that most of my buyer leads come within 48 hours of running an ad, up to about 6-7 days. If I only invest $10, the more you invest, guys, Facebook is still in control, end of the day, right? It's an investment. So I would say 10 days, what they recommend is fair. However, running an ad for 30 days for $300, I would not recommend that. So here we're going to go down to $10. I'm just using $10. You can use more. Now, because as there's more people coming into the game of advertising, there's about 50,000 plus people just in KW, by the way, I forgot, are advertising one ad a month. Facebook also sees who pays the most, where they advertise the most. They all track that, all the analytics that comes in. So you may get 2-3 leads per $10, which is not bad. And then we're going to click on save duration. Again, as stated before, please make sure you follow the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. If you generate any numbers and they ask you to not call them, if they're on do not call list, it's your discretion, right? Make sure you follow the TCPA laws. That's very important. Now, as we are ready to go execute the ad, you see it on the right-hand side. I'm going to click on Publish Campaign. I have the cards in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and create the ad. So this goes in the system. The ad always starts the following 24 hours. So if I just executed this ad, now it is, what time is it right now? It's 11 o'clock. No, probably starts tomorrow. I have seen sometimes, folks, this is another trick. If you execute an ad before 6-7 a.m., it may end up running the same day. By end of the night, you may have a lead. Not sure. There's no guarantee, but all ad executed will start to generate leads, impression, clicks the following day. So to, let's see the question they had about LBI. Valerie, the question for that is, that's a great question. So what you could do, there you go, campaign success. Let me just open up here. We're going to stop the share. Okay, so Valerie asked a question about what if I have a list, you know, I want to have someone that's looking for homes in LBI. There is a lot of research tool, folks, that you can use. One of them actually is called CoreLogic. You can actually see where are buyers buying in LBI coming from. And based on that, you can run an ad. Did you guys know you can run an ad in New Mexico and generate the leads? You can run an ad, for example, Valerie, let's say a lot of people for Jersey Shore, they come from New York. Exactly. So what, right, New York, or let's say they come from Maryland. What you do is you run an ad in Baltimore, Maryland, with a 50-mile radius, and you promote LBI. Or you run an ad in Cape May, New Jersey. You're like, Saiid, I just said LBI, why Cape May? Again, use the tool from Cape May, 50-mile radius around it, see where it goes, right? So the center point that you use is also important for the purpose. Again, go back to the first start. The purpose of your ad is so important in today's world, right? So you can put on there, let's see, the question was, yeah, Miller is looking for vacation home in LBI. If you just sold the listing, if there's an agent that allows you at the discretion to use their listing, or if you're on a team, you can use them when they allow you. And you could say, hey, looking for a summer home in LBI or something like that, keep it simple, 2 pictures. Now, I have seen when you tend to go higher end listings, you may have to spend a little bit more money than $10, right? So the recommended per day average is about $5 to $10 a day, just, on average. What it's going to do for you is going to generate leads in those price ranges. And then Valerie, to your question, think about referral opportunities that you have, folks. You generate a conversation, a relationship over time. The buyer may not know someone in the area they're looking to buy a home. And now you can actually be a resource. Thanks to KW, you are a resource to that buyer. And then you can work out a referral agreement. So let's see what the next message is.
Said, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So, do you run a campaign for sellers like CMA ones, like compare market analysis? Basically, when they put their address, send them link or email saying like your house worth X amount.
That's an outstanding question. So what your question was, are we running ads for CMAs to see if people want to know about the home values?
Correct.
I have run them in the past. You can do that, Hussein. That's a great question. And that's exactly the mindset you should have, Hussein. So I appreciate you bring that up. The purpose of Hussein's question was, how do I basically generate conversation with the potential seller in providing them value? And the way you do that is when you do CMA, folks, you are basically opening up a wide net, similar to when you generate a buyer conversation. This is a seller side conversation. Hussein, you could do that. You may not see as many leads coming in, but in today's world, guys, who wants to drive and talk to 10 people? If you live in Center City, you want to drive to Westchester and talk to 10 people. Could you do that for $10 or $20? And on top of it, you have to buy them a coffee. So it's a lot less over time. Again, the purpose is over time, you can generate conversation with potential sellers and buyers. So the purpose of today's call is about generating, igniting a conversation and empowering our agents to think bigger and just saying that, because who here right this moment, if you get a phone call, do you pick up your phone? Obviously you're on this call, I know that, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay. So if you didn't know the phone number that calling you, would you pick that phone call up?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 2 out of the many. One of the things happen is FTC is stating about 75% of all calls in the United States in 2021 will be robocalls. So the reason I say that, what I'm saying is to Hussein's question was, Facebook campaigns can help you to generate conversation you wouldn't have had, be able to get for $10, $20, $30. Just an idea. And it is important to pick up your phone, by the way. It is important to pick up your phone.
Sure.
But I'm tired of updating my car warranty that I sold 5 years ago. So now how to attract sellers with Facebook ads. Kathleen, great question. CMA ads. Yes, CMA ads. Another thing too is now flip the thing where we said don't advertise your neighborhood or don't advertise a certain home. If you have the listing, so Tom Lowy, I appreciate you being on here. Tom, let's say you just sold that house on Werner Road in King of Prussia. If Tom chooses to, he can allow another agent or himself run an ad saying that sold. The only thing is that remember the 15-mile minimum radius, right? Think about who those people are, where the ad reaches. And that's a great question, Kathleen. You can do that, CMA ads. You can also run stats. Homes are selling at 103% in King of Prussia. Homes are selling for, 87 homes sold for 102% in Fishtown. Look at these homes. Again, how much they sold for, where they sold, and what they sold for. So Tom, to you, have you ever used Facebook campaign or allowed someone to maybe work with your listings?
I'd be happy to have someone work with my listings if they want to.
Okay.
I haven't used campaigns yet.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, Tom. So Tom is a role model of mine. I learned a lot from him when it comes to real estate. So that's why I used him. And alternate ways to generate seller leads. So what you're asking is basically, how do you ignite a seller's like a seller's mindset about, hey, maybe I should ask that question, or that's interesting. I personally have neighborhood ads that I ran to just generate interest. I had a conversation with a guy, Tom. He's on my website. He checks on it. He's looking to move to Chesterbrook. He works for University of Pennsylvania, but he's like, I got to sell my house in Passyunk, and I happen to just work in Philly for 7 years. For Bally Total Fitness, we open up South Philly location. He was looking for a buyer lead, guys, but he's a seller. So Kathleen, another thing you could do is, besides the CMA, you could use neighborhood stats for the neighborhood in Philadelphia. Folks, is Lisa still on here? Lisa, so you're an expert in Brewery Town in Northeast Philadelphia area. If Lisa wanted to generate potential, folks here, I'm excited about this opportunity. I want to ignite people's mind about this. If you are looking at Facebook campaign as just a just sold, just listed card, it's not that way you should look at it. You should look at conversation. So Lisa,
Yes.
you ran an ad for some listings you sold, you bought in Brewery Town.
Northern Liberties, yeah.
Oh, the Northern Liberties.
Yep.
Was that, besides the conversation that you had, or you may have had, was that helpful to you to invest $20 to get 4 or 5 leads?
Yeah, I got a couple renters out of them. The funny thing is, in Northern Liberties, you kind of have to know your area and what people's interests are. I tag dogs in my Facebook lead ads. So everybody has dogs in that area, tons of dog parks. So interest of dogs brought, I think, a lot of leads. Obviously when you don't list price, I think people had some rude awakenings on what prices go for in rentals, but it was a good conversation, and I did get some good rentals from people who were looking in the area.
And Lisa, which market center are you with?
Devin, Wayne, Saiid.
Now, how did you learn to do Facebook ads, or where did you get the ideas from?
From you.
Now, I didn't want to get that, but was those conversations we had helpful to you to generate or sparking interest in using command campaigns?
Yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, you have to have the time to actually, you definitely have to have some sort of auto set up, which I use another, CRA in conjunction with Command that does all my auto texting and that kind of stuff and drip campaigns through there. So if you're getting 50 to 100 people responding to a Facebook lead, it is physically impossible to pick up the phone and call all of these people, but you'll really weed out who you should call if someone's opening the email, if you get notified the person opened the email or they actually text you back, right? So if I get a text back, then I'm gonna call. So I should be running more. It's just having, when you run it, make sure that you're going to be available that morning to actually respond to people.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So guys, another idea, and also just released, make sure you look at when you log into Command, if you haven't logged into Command, Facebook work with Twilio. Here's the kicker. You can actually give your Twilio number out, and if they text you, they get entered into Command automatically. So if you have a Twilio number, Lisa, for example, you want to put it on an ad, text this number. This is not an automated text one. You guys remember that short code texting? This one actually goes right into your Command, and over time you can start to put them on a text smart plan, or you can also give them a call, or however you do it. But right now, Twilio function in Command platform allows you to get text. When somebody texts you, it grabs their name and phone number and puts it in the system. Now, the name on the phone number versus the actual person holding the phone texting you may be different, but it's a new update that they released. So we have another person here I'd like to bring in. Laurie, are you with us? Laurie Matthias? No? Okay. So
You weren't paying her enough to be on.
yeah, the one more got short, but you know what it is? So you could generate ads for a specific neighborhood. Now, let's say if you're looking at condos, you know, a lot of people looking for condos, maybe slash townhomes in Center City, Philadelphia, right? So if you know people are moving in from, I would say New York, New Jersey, Baltimore, you know, you can actually advertise an ad for Philadelphia condos in around East Brunswick, 50-mile radius. It covers New York and part of northeastern Bucks County. Again, generates that conversation if you wanted to, right? And for Lisa's ad, I think we did about 50-mile radius in around Philadelphia, and we specifically said Fishtown and Brewery Town, right? Because Brewery Town, Fishtown are known. You know, people know them. So just be mindful of the neighborhood name that you share, that it's known, because we want to make sure you invest your money the right way and you get, you know, a return as fast as possible. And another thing, Andrew, that comes up to mind all the time is, all right, guys, you generated leads now. Whether it's 5 leads, 3 leads, 10 leads. Think about this if you do it every month. And if you do one ad, just one ad for $10, and you get about 3 leads for it, over the course of a year, it's $120 for 36 leads. Again, you could generate. If there is no follow-up, I can assure you there is other agents that are doing ads, and those people that you generate end up being in other people's databases. I have seen this happening all day long. Automation and the follow-up after that, it's so key. So the best advice I can give you after doing an ad, just do follow-ups. However you do follow-ups, you know, call, text, email, touch that person. I mean, send, not really touch, but, you know, sending something to that person at least once every 2 weeks, at least once a month. Again, goes back to the purpose of your ad. So we have gone over a lot of things. We don't want to make it too complicated. I want to make sure I keep it simple, powerful, especially for folks that are in Philadelphia area. And I have been doing this with our agents at KW Devon Wayne for a little bit over 1.5 years. So a lot of us have been sharing and running ads. Is there anyone on here that ran ads and they didn't see any results, or they're disappointed, that we can help? No question?
For everyone, not everybody's going to really want to talk to you. You get a lot of fake info. You got to really weed them out. So if you can create some sort of auto response on these, that's a best way to filter some stuff out so you don't waste a lot of time chasing garbage.
Lisa, that's a great feedback. Thank you so much. So Andrew, if it's okay, I want to show you how you can put leads on SmartPlan. So if you're new, you're like, well, Saiid, I don't have time to write a response. Why should I do this? And I really don't know. I just want to get it automated. So let me just show you a couple of simple steps that you can use at your own time to set people up on SmartPlan. So folks ask, what are SmartPlans? Make it easier. It's a former drip campaigns, or as we call it, I call it automated workflow. Because once you put somebody on a SmartPlan, it does a texting, and I have it set up so if somebody actually calls my Twilio number back, it will call my cell phone. I pick it up, and then you can also follow up with email. So what are SmartPlan? Again, when you click on the KW logo in upper left corner of your screen, you get the menu extend out, and then you click on SmartPlans. So if you're new or if you have never used SmartPlan, this may be empty. Imagine the days we used to have library. Do you guys remember the days you used to go to a library, you put the card in the back of the book, you're like, all right, I'm going to take this home. So here it's called a digital library, I would call it. Here you go into library, you can search for a specific Facebook SmartPlan. You can use any smart plan that are built. You can also, the cool thing is, look for author's name. So let's go look for Nick Baldwin, because Nick was one of the pioneers that wrote some of the follow-up smart plans for Facebook leads. Now look at this one, buyers 6 to 9 months out. There's a lot of them here, and we're going to go into this one here, bulk email for older leads. You can just email them. Email and task heavy Facebook follow-up. So let's say, for example, we take one of these, we drop them into our own library. And you can add the smart plan to your own library. Once you click on the add smart plan, you can actually rename it and then click on download. The reason you see is grayed out because I have that live smart plan in my library. So let me show you what those look like so you understand what I'm coming from here. I'm going to go into, let's see where these are. Okay. This one, old Facebook leads, because I have Facebook leads from 2018. I'm going to go in and open it up here. Actually, you know what? Let's see if you can go edit it here. All right, there we go. So this is my old Facebook lead smart plan. It's a total of 24 steps, 13 touches in 35 days, right? So think about, I know, again, these are Facebook leads long-term. And this is the editor. There's a text going on first. And then there's another one as a task that tells you, hey, do things. Then it's a delay of 1 day and sends a text. Then there's another delay of 1 day, sends another text, and delays of 1 day, then sends another text. Now, one of the things you got to do is the purpose of this smart plan is for all Facebook leads. Again, some of my Facebook leads are up to 2 years old. And guys, I got responses back. The other day, I sent out 1,800 or so texts. I got 4 conversations. So to Lisa's point of automated and the follows up. And Janet, let's say you start to generate leads. You may not, for some reason, busy and you don't follow up. Smart plan, the great thing with them is they generate conversation backs. And yes, you're going to get people saying, stop calling me, I don't want it anymore. And that's okay. But I had 4 conversations that I didn't do much for, but I did invest time and effort 2 years back. So that's how a smart plan is. And you go through the steps. And I actually built this one out a little bit further. And guys, who is not busy in today's world? Who is not in virtual schooling? Who's not at a buyer's appointment? Who's not on vacation, or who's not on a selling appointment? Or you may be a recruiter, you may be like showing homes. And I admire you guys in the city of Philadelphia because it's not an easy game to show homes. I can only imagine if you have to show home 10 homes, 15 homes in 2-3 days, right? So these automated work plans can actually help you out over time. And then it comes also, it filters out the unserious versus the serious people. And it goes down all the way. I'm more than happy to share this with you if you like. You just have to let me know. I can upload it into the master smart plan library for KW, and you can download it in your own command. So that's what my smart plan looks like. There's a lot of texting because texting, is proven. People pay attention to it more. 80+% of people read their text within 10 minutes. Less than 5% of people answer the phone call, the immediate phone calls. So Melissa, did you have anything?
Not, I have a lot, but not yet.
Okay, no worries. Hey, I'm passionate about helping us here, helping our KW family, sharing and empowering everybody, because we all together take market share. When you all take market share in the city, in suburban areas, if you're in Ohio, anywhere, we all win over across the country, right? So, okay.
Saiid, real quick. Saiid,
Yes.
My name's Jason. I had a quick question for you. So it's my first time putting a Facebook campaign together.
Nice.
And I do have a listing. I'm trying to follow you as we go through and kind of do mine.
Okay.
Real quick, the ownership statement. Can you review that one more time?
Sure. Let's go do that. let me just go bring it out. So we're going to do this live. Give me 10 seconds, Jason. I'll be right there.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. There you go. So there it is. When you build an ad, it's right there. It should be, you know what?
Yeah, I'm right there. I don't know what to write.
Just click on the DBA logo. It should have it for you.
Yeah, it's there, but then it said there, include my owners. Oh, just include it. But
That's
I thought
it.
there was a statement you had to put.
No, that's it. They write it in for you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
You're
And then
good.
after that, I'm just going to go to Facebook ad and pick out all my targets and everything. And
Yep. And make sure, guys, you have your Facebook. Obviously, if you do not see your Facebook business page up here, like this selection, it means that you haven't connected your Facebook business page in settings. And the way you do that is up in your profile section, right here, you can go ahead and click on your name and then go into settings. And when you arrive in command settings, if you pay attention to the right area right here, as I'm right up there, you want to make sure your Facebook personal is also connected. Once you do that, it allows you to include the Facebook Ads Manager. So, Andrew, do you have any questions?
Anybody has any questions and wants to?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Initially, does Facebook connect to your business page or your personal page under settings here?
So under settings, you want to include, you want to first log in under your personal, and then your it's either way, Melissa. It's actually
Okay,
because you cannot create a Facebook business page without having a personal page.
correct, right. And it gives me a choice. It gives me a choice whether to pick for my for the ads for the Facebook Ads Manager. It gives me a choice whether to pick picked my account, Melissa Getner Circo, but it gave me a choice whether for post scheduling to go to my business account or my personal account.
I would say it's a you know what, your Facebook ads runs on your Facebook business account.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally would keep that separate. You know,
okay.
For Facebook posts, that's only in the free version. Let me show you what I mean with that. So it's easier to bring that screen up here. So we're going to go back in here, and it's still in the under a campaign section. It's called social post. Social posts are these plans, and now they have actually different templates here. If you guys look at them, there's a couple of them. So yeah, if you guys want to go on Facebook and look Saiid Zamani real estate, I just post one right now. You can see it. So I'm clicking on here. I'm going to say on the left, Melissa, this is like, hey, landlords, one-stop managing, blah, blah, blah. There you go. You see, this is the free version. That's why he's asking you probably that question. So, and then I think it was Jason, this is the include my ownership statement. That's it. It's right there. It's written in. You can apply to it.
yes.
And then I'm going to say schedule post. No, I want to post it immediately. And this is my Facebook business page, Saiid Zamani Real Estate. And then push immediately. And he's going to push. Now, again, guys, who here has upgraded to an Android or an iPhone and found your phone has some hacks? Sometimes you have an issue. You know, when you ask Siri about something, it doesn't say, it says, you know what, I cannot find that contact. And then says, I'm calling that contact. What I'm trying to tell you is all systems are not perfect. Sometimes you may have hiccups in our own system. Just have a patient, make sure you reset cookies and empty history and get back in. So let's go back in and see if it showed up. Give it about 5 seconds, doing that. It takes a couple of seconds here, I guess. So Melissa, it's going to show up right here on my Facebook business page.
Mhm.
And I think because I'm on Zoom and I have another person in the house that is on virtual schooling, uh, everything is slow. There we go. There you go. That's it. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Done. So pretty cool, right? You don't even have to write it. So don't be shy. Give the system opportunity. If you need any help, I'm here. Your entire KW, awesome Philadelphia tech teams are on there, and the committees. So that's what it looks like. And I have also Keep Current Matters advertising, but that's how you do it. And let's go back on some of the ads I wrote, so you get, you can actually see what we did.
I've got a quick question
Sure.
about coming soon.
Yeah.
When are we allowed to advertise coming soon? If we put it into the MLS as a coming soon, are we then allowed to advertise it, or do we have to wait until it's going active?
So Tom, help me out here, but from what I know, Janet, what Bright MLS states is as soon as you start to advertise a listing that you sign publicly, however you do it, it must be in the MLS as a coming soon within 24 hours. And from there on, it's free game. Is that
Okay,
correct,
so
Tom?
as long as it's in the MLS with coming soon, then you are free to advertise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that correct, Tom?
Just not allowed to show it until it's live
Yeah.
to
Correct.
anyone.
Right. Okay. I just was confused about the regulation and,
But check with your broker and or the MLS.
yep. Okay.
That was a
thanks.
moment of risk management.
So here's
Yeah,
another.
and one thing, Saeed, just remember I had this problem a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Janet, one thing you're going to want to just be mindful of is if you're doing it as an advertised listing and it's incoming soon, it will not pull in automatically to command until it's live. So Saeed gave me some workarounds for that, but and you could build your own kind of thing when it's incoming soon. But you're going to want to, have that Facebook coming soon. I messed that one up, but several days before you're actually going live.
Absolutely.
So you can generate the buyer leads for it.
Absolutely. And so I have a question for everybody here. Who here is not from Philadelphia area? Cool. Nice. Valerie, what market are you in?
I'm in Ship Bottom on LBI.
Oh, nice. Kathleen, where are you at?
I'm
She's
from Belmead, New Jersey, Princeton area.
Okay. So you're our neighbor. You're just around across the bridge. Darlene, how about you?
Southern Ocean County, so around where Valerie is, we're in the same area.
Oh, you guys are like our
Right.
cousins. So,
I'm also from LBI. Sorry.
All right.
I'm gonna add to that, the water's off in my office this week, so I'm down in LBI today as well. I'm in Beach Haven.
all right, what's going on?
All
So
my neighbors today.
now, why did I ask that question? In Philadelphia area, because we know Bright MLS, what happens to I think it was Janet, coming soon. So here's the trick that I have used that can help all of you. Again, always follow the regulations. Let's say, Andrew, you signed a listing contract. You are going to, Tom, is it 3 days you have to put in MLS? Okay, so today is Monday. I signed a listing contract. I'm not putting it out to publicly or promoting it. But on Tuesday, our team agrees that, hey, the listing is going to go into the system on Thursday, right? Or whatever the days it is. If Thursday starts, you can actually run an ad, right? On Monday or Tuesday, because it takes 24 hours till ad gets activated. And then you can start to post it on Facebook or share it on the groups, and always follow the regulation. Make sure the seller wants you to promote it. What happens is you're having 48 hours advance time before anybody else can turn around and advertise on Facebook. So imagine getting 5, 10 extra leads every time you have a listing up early. So it's called the coming soon trick. If you know you're putting a listing on the market on Thursday, you can start to run an ad on Tuesday, right? Because it's going to get executed. Just make sure you follow the regulation and the timelines. It's a day or two. I found that very, very helpful. Again, you cannot show the listings. You cannot take them by the listing, but you can have conversation about the listing because now you are having conversation publicly. So
That's good to know.
yeah, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. Jason, let us know how your success is with your ad. If you're getting enough conversation or, and how many people you get in touch with. And another thing too is that have been very helpful in having Tom in my office and our leadership at KW Devon Wayne. We have a class for script practice and role play. I would encourage everybody, if anybody says no, don't hang up on someone or don't delete the leads. Let them tell you no, because all those leads are valuable assets in the future. Whether it's 1 lead, 10 lead, 20 lead, 1,000 leads, they are bringing conversations open. And last year I made $18,000 just from 2 Facebook leads. So it works. Yeah, the numbers weren't there, but the purpose of my ad, guys, was about helping my market center and make sure I share the knowledge, because what they say is information is not only power, data is now also power. So if you have enough data, and did you know Facebook told, they told us on a family reunion, Keller Williams was the only brokerage that they partnered with and customized things for. That's huge. So, all right, what do we have next? I think we have something else coming up here. Chris Dougherty, you helped me tremendously. I wanted to start doing ads because I did a couple that were just horrible, and this helped a lot. There we go. Good job, Chris. And Kathleen said the same. Do you need a Twilio number for the smart plan? Kathleen writes, you do not need Twilio to do a smart plan, but the Twilio function allows you to text. So if you wish to, you can set it up, and there is different tiered credit plan that you get, and you can get as much as, I think, Andrew, 300 credit for $5 a month. So you can do that. It's good that people are getting something out of this. Great. I have to run. Thank you so much. Great, Valerie. So, well, it seems to me it was Philadelphia area. Another ad you guys can do, folks. You can actually start to use it around certain happenings in around Philadelphia. It doesn't have to be a listing, So if there's anything you need, Andrew, you have my information. I'm going to put it in the chat here. You know what? You cannot enter because it goes up.
And Saiid, we appreciate you for coming out this morning. What time is it over there? 8:20?
I think 8:21. I've been up since 4, and
Thank you.
I have a very hard job today. I have to jump in the pool in a few minutes, and you're going to see that on Facebook. Make sure you check out on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, so if you want to send me a friend request, more than happy to share. This is about sharing. This is about helping all of us, right? And you have my phone number. Text me. Just do me a favor. If you do plan to send me a text, tell me who you are, so I don't say, I'm sorry, who's this? Because I get on average, I just looked, Andrew, I get on average 1,800 calls in every month. So, and that's with all the stuff that I do. So, and don't put your personal cell phone on everything you do in real estate for 6 years.
And Saiid, knowing you've probably answered every single one of those calls. And
you know what?
You've already gone 20 minutes. You've given us extra time this morning, and I kind of want to echo what Chris mentioned. I've ran some advertisements that have not gone so well, so I'm going to utilize some of the things that I learned today. But if anyone has any questions and wants to put them in the chat or hang on a few minutes, I'll be here. I know Saiid might have to run into the pool.
I'm good. I'm on vacation.
Saiid, one more question. if I'm
Sure.
picking targeted custom audience instead of doing, target my database, can
Yeah,
that be too large and it won't let me let me publish it?
I would say, you mean, you're asking the question, how many targeting you should have?
Yes.
I would say, just pick 4 or 5 to get some leverage. Like one of them could be Zillow, Realtor.com, first time home buyer. Let me ask you, Jason, how much is your listing?
500.
500. Okay. What area is it in?
Manayunk.
Manayunk. Okay, great. So you could also look for luxury, 500,000. You can look for the word luxury.
Okay.
Right? You can also look for investment. It's not investment in real estate, just the word investment.
Yes.
And then Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. The reason I said investment, because you have people that are looking to invest money. You're looking to get into their on their screen, right? You're not looking to get them to say, "Hey, I want to buy that house." You want their information, right?
Correct.
You can do that. Yeah, yeah.
So when I did this real quick, Saiid, and I hit save Facebook ad, it's giving me an error. Like there's an error next to Facebook ad.
What is it saying?
It just has that pink triangle, fill in required fields, and I filled everything in.
Okay. Did you? Is that go up, scroll up? Do you have a link where your ad goes to?
Where it says the URL, I put my KW website.
Okay. Look on the left of the HTTP. Do you have too much information there?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, because with KW, you just put JW. Okay, yeah, I think that's what it is.
Try that right now. See if it works. So that could be it. Yeah. So that's what it's all about. Doing Facebook ads is an investment in your lead generation, right?
Yes.
Right. Doing Facebook ad, Jason. If it's 500, guys, let's be real. If it's fake number, if nobody wants to talk to you, if they absolutely don't, that's fine. But because people know people, and some people like that you are following up, you're giving value, you're persistent. Whether it's an email, like Lisa said, automated information to them, it can be helpful, especially in the city. I can only imagine the competition you guys going through, right? I can only imagine what data goes through, because you have Redfin, you have Trulia, you have Hauser, you have everybody, you have blocks. There's a lot of things going on, right? So another tip I would say, I used also ads to promote myself in a certain area. I didn't get much out of it, but I got impressions. So that's why I have done a lot of things. If you have also, in the beginning of pandemic, I helped the landscaping guy up in North Wales. I advertised for him and I sent him some names. I'm not sure how much business he got out of it, but you could use the system to help other people, right? To bring value to other people's businesses. And it's only 20 bucks. Now imagine if they refer your listing or they refer your buyer. See how you can take Facebook ads and tweak it to what you want. So think bigger, think unlimited. We have a question. Okay, Melissa, I'm going to get to you. Do you want to email me, Melissa?
That would be great.
All right,
Thank you very much.
You got it.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So it's going to be excited. We had Jason doing his first ad. We have some people going over things. And one of the things, guys, you're going to do is just don't give up on command platform, right? If you don't want to use all of it, that's okay. If you don't want to use campaign because it's overwhelming, give me a call, give Karen a call. Make sure you reach out to your leadership, your executive team there. They're all awesome, and we are here to help, because remember, the more market share we all take, the more successful we all going to be over time. That's the key. All right, Andrew, anything else?
I actually have one last question.
Okay, $5.
So I ran an Instagram advertisement last week and it didn't go too great. And I didn't know I could do them through command. I clicked on my Instagram page and I'm getting an error that says requires business management permission to manage this object.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a Facebook thing. If you want to, if your Instagram is connected to, like, basically Facebook owns Instagram. So when you do Facebook ads, it ports through Facebook, it ports to Instagram. If you're
Right.
trying to like back channel them, it sounds like you have to, if your Instagram is connected to a Facebook page, you have to go into the Facebook interface.
Okay.
You have to make sure, guys, and before you upgrade, this is for iPhone users to 14.5. I would encourage people to read about why there is this talk about privacy issue between Facebook and Apple. I know Tom, love Tom. He has an Android. I was a big Android fan, but I was tired of looking for battery charger at my office. That's why I go to Apple. Apple released 14.5, and they are giving out extra, like, privacy layers. So Karen, that's great. Now, I have right now, after they upgraded everything, problem with Zoom, broadcasting Zoom. So you may have heard that before. I cannot broadcast on certain pages anymore. Those pages have to give me like a privacy allowance. With that said, there's a lot of things happening. So if something doesn't happen in command, it doesn't mean command is not working. It may be a Facebook issue. And for that to be solved, I would highly reach out to Karen to submit a ticket for you to go back to your market center tech people so they know, because sometimes it's individual cases. Sorry, I didn't want to say that, but this is becoming big because it's a fight between Google, Facebook, and Apple. So Andrew, yeah, you have to be admin on both of the pages.
Okay.
And have to be connected. So yeah, any other questions? I hope this was helpful, spark some interest. This is not about saying, oh, I got all these leads, I convert them, this is the perfect ad. I could show you ads I have had some success from, but if you have never run ads, or if you're still new to Facebook ads, I want to make sure you get value instead of just looking at ads, right?
Mhm.
You want to make sure you run efficient ads, even if it's one a month, one every quarter, versus just dropping all these nice ads on you. You're like, I'm not even doing anything. So we want to make sure we reverse engineer your success for long-term investment in Facebook. Okay. Well, as always, gratitude to everybody joining us. It's an honor. I know it's just a call. It's an honor to be able to share to people and other future people that are watching. Just don't give up on Command Platform. Small steps can, help you climb mountains.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Absolutely. And you have my information if you like. If you have any Facebook issues or commands.
Yeah, I add you already on Facebook, so definitely I'll check your email as well.
Absolutely. And always, if you have any internal issue, make sure you get with your Karen and Andrew and folks to submit tickets for you, to make sure your market center tech people also handles those for you too.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We learned a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great day and goodbye from Arizona.
Thank you very much. Good luck on your call.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.